stop before any money tip. I need to show you something that's betraying you in 2 seconds. It's not the size of your house. It's not the couch. It's not whether it's nice and clean. It's your entryway. The first step. What's on the floor when someone walks in? And I'm going to say this with respect. A woman who carries the world on her shoulders often lives like this. She works. She pays the bills. She handles everything, and yet the money never seems to stick. Because every single day her house repeats the same message. Things are tight. Things are blocked. This is hard. The worst part, you get used to it. You stop seeing it. But truly prosperous people notice it immediately. Not because they're fancy, but because they recognize internal order when they see it. In Jewish traditions, the entrance of a home is treated as a threshold, a place of transition, symbolizing protection and order. What I'm sharing here is symbolic and educational. No magic, just behavior plus intention. Try something right now. Picture yourself coming home from Target or the grocery store, arms full of bags. Do you walk in feeling light? Or do you sidestep things, nudge something out of the way with your foot, practically excuse yourself to get through your own hallway? Today, I'm going to show you 3 signs your entryway is revealing, and at the end, I'll give you a 60-second adjustment that instantly shifts how your home feels. And pay attention, sign number 2 is the one that silently drains money the most. If this message feels like it found you, that's not random. Comment, I unblock my entry. I read the comments. I respond. And subscribe now. This channel is new, and we're building a community of women who want order, protection, and prosperity with dignity. Take a breath with me. Because today I'm not giving you motivation. I'm giving you clarity. And I need you to understand something from the beginning. This is educational and symbolic, inspired by Jewish values and traditions about home, order, protection, and responsible prosperity. It's not magic. It's not a promise of easy money. It's a way of looking at your space and noticing what it's training inside you every single day without you realizing it. So let me be very clear about what's going to happen in this video. You're going to learn 5 signs that highly prosperous people tend to notice quickly when they walk into a home. The first is the entryway, and you've already felt that with me. Then the kitchen, the bedroom, broken items, and a final, more subtle sign that almost nobody talks about. And at the end, I'll give you a 60-second adjustment. 60. A simple shift that moves the feeling from stuck to open in a real, practical way. On top of that, I'll give you a lean 7-day routine you can actually follow without burning out. Because I know how it feels. When you're already carrying so much, the last thing you need is more weight. Now, before I continue, one important thing. If you've been here since the beginning and something about this message hits differently, maybe that's not random. So do this for me. Subscribe now. This channel is new, and it truly helps us build a serious community. Women who want prosperity with dignity, protection with balance, and a home that stops draining their energy. Stay with me, because I'm warning you, sign number 2 is the one that fools good, hard-working people, especially women. Because it looks normal, it looks like routine, but underneath, it becomes a silent leak. Let's go. Now we're starting. If there's one place in your home that speaks before you ever say a word, it's the entryway. Because your entryway is the first agreement you make with life every single day. It's your body's yes or no. It's where you walk in exhausted, where you come back from the doctor's office, from work, from Costco or the grocery store. It's where you drop your purse, your keys, the weight of the outside world, and without realizing it, you decide whether your home is a place of rest or just another battlefield. In Jewish tradition, There's deep respect for this threshold, not as superstition, but as a symbol of protection, order, and awareness. And I'm not saying you need to follow a religion or hang anything on your door. I just want you to understand the principle. What blocks your entrance tends to block your flow. Flow of energy, flow of patience, flow of decision-making, and yes, flow of money. Because money is often the result of clearer decisions and less anxiety. Now I want you to do something simple. Picture your entryway as it is right now, not what you wish it looked like, what it actually looks like. When a prosperous person walks into a home, they notice something most people normalize. If you have to sidestep to get in, if your body learns that there's always something in the way, that becomes silent training in scarcity. And here are the 3 most common signs I see in real life. First, shoes blocking the path. This isn't about owning shoes. It's about shoes positioned like a barrier. You walk in and your foot immediately searches for a clear spot so you don't step on anything. That creates the feeling of a cramped house, even if the house isn't small. Your mind registers, there's no space. And your heart responds, there's no breathing room. Second, a pile of outside life right at the door. Mail, Amazon packages, reusable grocery bags that never got put away, flyers, boxes, notes, papers. This is very common for women who handle everything for everyone. You walk in, and you're immediately handed tasks. Even inside your own home, you're greeted by unfinished business. And when unfinished business lives at your entrance, it sends a daily message. You're always behind. Third, something broken sitting by the door. A busted umbrella, an old box leaning against the wall, a wobbly chair, a torn rug, a light bulb that's been out for weeks. It seems small, but the symbol is powerful. You're crossing through something broken to enter your own refuge. That drains you, and you feel it, sometimes without even having words for it. Now I want to give you something practical, fast, because I promised you this wouldn't just be pretty talk. The 2-minute entry reset. You can do this today. And it's simple. Decision number 1. A clear path. Make one rule. From the door to my first step inside, nothing makes me sidestep. Nothing. If there are shoes, they move to the side. If there's a box, it goes somewhere else. If there's a bag, it gets a defined spot. Your body needs to relearn how to enter your own home without negotiating space. Decisions upper 2. A landing spot. A lot of clutter exists because the house doesn't have a place where things land. Keys, purse, mail, they just float. So choose one spot. It could be a tray, a hook, a small basket from Target, a simple console table, anything. The point isn't luxury. The point is the message. My home knows how to receive me. Decision number 3. One thing leaves. Now. 1. An item that's been sitting there for months because you're going to deal with it later. Later rarely comes. And later turns into mental debt. So choose one thing and close the loop today. Fix it or toss it. Now let me tell you a quick story, because I know you need to see yourself in this. I remember a woman, let's call her Lucy, who told me, I swear I work hard, I try, but it feels like I never move forward. When I asked her what her entryway looked like, she laughed. That tired laugh. You know the one, because she already knew. Shoes, papers, reusable grocery bags, something leaning against the wall temporarily. And she said, I walk in and I'm already irritated. So I asked her, do you realize that happens every single day? She had never connected the dots. She made just those 3 changes. Clear path, landing spot, one thing out. And that same day she told me something powerful. It feels like I'm back in charge of my house. Look at that. This isn't about mystical energy. This is about you taking back control. And when you take back control in one area, you start taking it back in others. Now I want to activate something important here, because it helps you and it helps this channel grow. Comment one word telling me which of these 3 signs shows up most in your home: shoes, male, or broken. That's it. I really do read the comments, and it also tells me which sign I need to go deeper into in the next videos. Stay with me, because now we're moving to sign number 2, and this one is the most deceptive, because it looks normal. It looks like routine, but it's the one that most feeds the feeling that money never stays. So let's go there. Sign number 2. And I'll warn you, this one is sneaky, because it doesn't show up as clutter. It shows up as exhaustion. It's present in the life of so many women who hold the house together, hold the kids together, hold the bills together, hold everything together. And when they finally look at themselves, there's nothing left. Why am I bringing this up? Because the kitchen, in many traditions, including Jewish teachings about home and prosperity, is seen as the place where resources become nourishment. It's the place of transformation, of care, of making things stretch. Again, this is symbolic and educational, but symbols matter because they point to real behavior. If your entryway is the gateway, your kitchen is the engine, and when that engine is overloaded, you feel it in your entire life. So try something with me for 20 seconds. No guilt, no judgment, just honesty. Think about your kitchen today. When you walk into it, what's the first feeling? Relief or an invisible to-do list? Because when your kitchen demands from you before it nourishes you, that becomes a pattern. You spend energy before you receive energy. And here are the 3 most common signs that organized, prosperous families notice quickly, not because they're fancy, but because of mindset. First sign: too many expired or forgotten items. And I'm not talking about one yogurt past its date. I'm talking about that back corner of the fridge, that cabinet you shove things into so you don't have to see them. This isn't just food, it's the message. I let the past take up space meant for the present. And that's exactly how a financially stuck life works. Old things take up the space of the new, and the new can't enter because there's no room. Second sign: the sink becomes an emotional dumping ground. Sometimes the sink isn't just full of dishes, it's full of, "I didn't get to it today. I'll deal with it later." And later becomes heavy. There's something I see over and over: good, hard-working, honest women who feel guilty resting, as if rest is a luxury they haven't earned. So the sink becomes punishment. You look at it, and you feel guilt. And guilt drains your courage to make better decisions, including financial ones. Third sign: no open surface, no breathing room on the counter, no space at the table, everything covered. That sends a silent message to your brain. There's no space for anything new. And notice how that mirrors life. When someone feels like there's no room, what do? They impulse buy to compensate, or they freeze and avoid decisions, or they spend their life putting out fires. Now I'm going to give you something practical, simple and respectful. No perfection, no overhaul your entire kitchen. The 5-minute kitchen reset. Just enough to shift the feeling. Minute 1. Remove one expired or forgotten item. 1. Just 1. You don't need to empty the fridge. You need to create a signal of control. Minute 2. Bring the sink to visual 0. Even if you don't wash everything, at least remove that overwhelming pile feeling. And if you truly can't do it all, do this. Separate into 2 groups, today and tomorrow. Make the decision visible. Minute 3. Clear a counter space the size of a dinner plate. That's it. One clear surface is like opening a window inside your mind. Minute 4. Put one thing back where it belongs. Just one. Because prosperity isn't about doing everything at once. It's about building continuity. Minute 5. Choose a short sentence to say to yourself while you do it. Something simple like, "I take care of what I have, and I make space for what I deserve. It's not magic, it's direction. Now let me tell you something quickly, because this might be you. A woman once told me, "I don't have energy for anything else, and everyone depends on me." When she said that, I felt it, because that kind of exhaustion isn't just physical, it's mental. She started with the smallest step. She threw out 2 expired items from her fridge. Then she cleared one corner of her counter and placed a simple fruit bowl there. Nothing fancy, no remodel, just presence. And she told me, "It sounds silly, but I felt like my house was finally on my side again." And notice this, when your home is on your side, you decide better, you think clearer, you spend smarter, you sleep better. And that brings us to sign number 3, the bedroom. Because there's something in the bedroom that directly affects your rest, your clarity, and even that tight feeling in your chest when you think about bills. But before we go there, I want to do 2 quick things with you. First, if this is helping you, subscribe right now. This channel is new, and I'm building a full practical series to help us turn our homes into places of peace and direction, not pressure. Second, comment 1 word below, kitchen. If you're willing to do the 5-minute reset today, type kitchen. That's it. I want to see how many of you are deciding, "I'm taking back control of my space." Now let's move to sign number 3, because this one surprises people the most. Sign number 3. And I want you to listen gently here, because this touches something sensitive: rest. A lot of people think prosperity is just about hustling harder, but the truth is, prosperity is also clarity. And where does clarity come from? From the place where your mind is supposed to shut off, and your body is supposed to restore itself. Your bedroom isn't just a room. It's the place where you return to yourself. In Jewish tradition, there's a deep respect for the idea that a home must include spaces of peace, order, and restoration. Not because of mysticism, but because life demands that you recharge, so you can make better decisions tomorrow. So answer me honestly, in your own heart. When you lie down in your bed, do you feel relief, or do you feel like you still owe something? Because some people lie down, but their mind doesn't. Their mind stays standing, pacing back and forth, and that's where this sign shows up. Highly prosperous people notice quickly whether a bedroom is serving as a refuge or as a storage unit for a stuck life. And the detail that gives it away is simple, but powerful. What's under the bed and what's on top of the nightstand. I know, it sounds small, but think about it. What are you sleeping on top of? Rest or unfinished business? Here are the 3 most common bedroom signs, and I want you to just observe. No guilt. First sign, hidden accumulation under the bed, boxes, old papers, clothes you don't wear, things you'll deal with someday. What does that do to your mind? Even if you don't look at it, your brain knows it's there, and it registers something as incomplete. It's like telling yourself every night, there are things stuck, and a financially stuck life looks exactly like that. Things stuck. Second sign, a nightstand loaded with anxiety, a half-full glass, medication, tangled chargers, sticky notes, a bill, your phone open to bad news. The last image before sleep is either clutter or worry. And I need to say something especially to you, as a woman. Many women were taught that they only deserve to rest when everything is handled, but everything handled never fully arrives. So rest becomes a reward you can never quite earn. And without rest, you lose clarity. Without clarity, you make decisions on autopilot. And on autopilot, money leaks out. Third sign, there's no visible yes in the bedroom. Everything is task. Everything is obligation. Everything is practical. There's no sign that you are cared for in that space too, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be a throw pillow, a soft blanket, a book you actually enjoy, a warmer bedside lamp instead of harsh overhead light. The symbol is simple. I deserve peace here. Now I'm going to give you a simple protocol for tonight. Not a deep clean, just a shift in feeling. The 10-minute bedroom reset, before bed. Step 1. Remove one thing from under the bed. 1. You don't need to empty everything. You just need to send a message to your brain. I'm unsticking what's been hidden. Step 2. Clear your nightstand down to 3 items max. 3. For example, water, a book, and your phone placed out of reach. Or water, your glasses, and hand cream. Whatever you choose, just not a pile of unfinished business. Step 3. Untangle one knot. A literal knot. A charger cord. A messy cable. A small physical tangle. Because it's amazing how much your body understands symbolism. When you untangle something, you send a message. I untangle things in my life. Let me share a quick moment, because you might see yourself in this. A woman once told me, I sleep, but I wake up tired. It feels like I never really rest. When she described her bedroom, I understood immediately. Her bedroom had become a storage space for things she didn't want to face. She started small. She removed 2 boxes from under the bed, cleared off her nightstand, switched to a softer, warmer lamp, and she came back and told me, I can't explain it, but I felt like I could breathe again. That's what we're talking about. When you breathe better, you think better. When you think better, you choose better. And when you choose better, money stops slipping through the cracks of autopilot. Now, I want to make a simple invitation, and this also helps this video reach more women who need it. Comment below, I deserve to rest. Write it exactly like that, because when you write it, you're not just commenting, you're giving yourself permission. And I want to see how many of you are willing to give yourselves that permission today. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now, because the next part is sign number 4, and this one is direct. Almost uncomfortable, broken things. I'm going to show you how tolerating what's broken inside your home becomes a silent leak, and how to fix it without spending money and without overwhelming yourself. Let's go there. Sign number 4. This one is simple, but powerful, because you can't fake it. Broken things. It might be small, it might seem minor, but the message is big. In many traditional teachings, including Jewish values about home and dignity, there's a very practical idea. A vessel has to be whole to fulfill its purpose. Let me translate that into everyday life. When you live with broken things in your house, your brain quietly learns to live with half-working in other areas too. And a financially stuck life often looks like that. Half-paid bills, half-made plans, half-finished dreams, half energy. You move forward, but you're leaking as you go. Now I want you to do a quick scan in your mind. This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. How many of these are in your house right now? A light bulb that's been out for weeks, and you've just gotten used to it. A door that doesn't close properly, a wobbly chair, a clock that stopped months ago, a loose outlet, a warped pan that annoys you every time you use it, a drawer that sticks, and you fight with it every single day. Every time you use something broken, you make a quiet internal agreement. I tolerate this. And the problem isn't the object. The problem is the emotional training of tolerating what frustrates you. And there's something I need to say, especially to you if you're in your 40s, 50s and carrying so much already. Sometimes you tolerate what's broken because you think it's not worth the effort. I'll deal with it later. I don't want to spend the money. I don't have time. But later becomes an invisible tax because it charges you every day in irritation, in fatigue, in that low-level feeling of disorder. Now, here's the practical part. I'm going to give you a challenge that looks small on the outside, but is powerful on the inside. The 24-hour challenge. One thing. Choose one broken item. Just one. The simplest one. And by the end of today, or tomorrow at the latest, you'll do one of two things: fix it or remove it. No middle ground. Because middle ground is what keeps the leak going, and I want to give you a way to choose without overthinking it. Pick the broken thing that bothers you the most, the one that makes you sigh every time you see it. It's not the most expensive one. It's the most emotional one. When you fix that one thing, you send a direct message to your brain: I don't tolerate leaks anymore. And little by little, that shifts how you show up with money too. Because money doesn't respect someone who keeps disrespecting herself. And I'm not talking about mystical worthiness. I'm talking about behavior. When you constantly put yourself last, you make decisions while exhausted. And exhausted decisions are expensive. So do this with me. What's your number one broken thing? Comment one word below: broken. If you want, add a short note: the lamp, the door, the chair. Because writing it creates commitment, and I want to see you cross this line. And if you're watching this thinking, I needed to hear this, then subscribe now. We're building a series that's not here to judge you. It's here to give you your power back, step by step, without overwhelm. Now, the next sign is more subtle. It's not an object. It's a climate. It's what I call expectation. And once you understand this, you'll start to see why some homes feel like they open doors, and others always feel like they close them. Let's go there. Sign number 5. The most subtle one, and at the same time the strongest, because it's not something you can point at. It's something you feel. It's what I call the energy of expectation. And let me bring that down to earth. Expectation is preparation. It's when your home shows, without you saying a word, that you're ready for good things, ready to receive, ready to live with more ease. In Jewish tradition, there's a strong idea of the home as a place of dignity, welcome, and readiness. Not superstition, but value. You honor what you have, and you prepare space for what you want to build. So here's the question. Does your home feel like a place that expects good things to happen? Or does it feel like a place bracing for the next problem? Because this shows up in very simple signs. First sign, light. I'm not talking about fancy lighting. I'm talking about turning on the lights like you're saying, life lives here. A dark house with dim or burnt-out bulbs often carries a quiet message of resignation, and a lot of people don't even realize they've been living in survival mode until the lighting changes. Second sign, intentional empty space. You know that feeling when everything is full, every surface taken, everything tight? Homes that expect good have at least one small space that says, something new can enter here. It might be a chair without a pile of laundry, a clear corner of the dining table, a shelf with breathing room. It's a symbol of future. Third sign, nourishment and care, not just survival. This isn't about expensive organic groceries. It's about the difference between grabbing whatever is fast and showing minimal care. A washed piece of fruit, a water pitcher filled and ready, a table that doesn't look like a battlefield. That's expectation. Fourth sign, something alive and current. An open book, a planner you actually use, a simple flower from Trader Joe's, a photo that reminds you who you're becoming. Because what's alive in your home tends to keep your spirit alive too. Now here's the practical part, and I want you to do this today. Small, realistic, doable, the 30-second expectation shift. Pick one of these 4 and do it today. Turn on a light you usually leave off. Clear one chair or one corner of your kitchen table. Fill a water bottle or pitcher and leave it ready for yourself. Place something visible that reminds you of direction. A book, a quote, a photo. And when you do it, say quietly, simple, no drama, I prepare for good things. You're not trying to positive think your life. You're training your environment, and your environment trains you back. Now I want one small commitment from you, and this also helps this video reach more women who need it. Comment below, I expect good. If you want, add, with order and dignity. And share this with a friend who's always saying, I don't know why nothing moves forward. Because sometimes she doesn't need criticism, she needs direction. And now, stay with me. Because the next part is what I promised from the beginning, the 60-second reset, and then the 7-day rhythm, simple, practical, so you don't fall back into autopilot. Let's go there. This is the part I told you was coming. The 60-second reset. And I'm going to ask you for something. Don't hear this as just another tip. Hear it as a line in the sand, a simple moment where you take back command. And again, just to be clear, this is symbolic, educational, inspired by values of order, dignity and protection within the home, ideas that are strong in Jewish tradition. It's not a miracle, but a well-applied symbol becomes behavior, and repeated behavior becomes destiny. So, let's do it. The 60-second reset happens at your front door, because your entryway is the first yes your home gives to life every single day. You're going to make 4 moves. Simple, direct. Move 1, 15 seconds, clear the path. Free up the very first step inside. No obstacle, no sidestep, no shuffle, just a clean step forward. That alone changes your body. And while you do it, think, I enter without resistance. Move 2, 15 seconds. Remove 1 block. Choose one single item that makes you kick, sidestep, push or twist your foot every day. Just one, a pair of shoes in the middle, a grocery bag, an Amazon box you never broke down. Move it to where it belongs, or move it out. And think, I don't allow leaks anymore. Move 3, 15 seconds. Create a landing spot. Keys, purse, mail. They need a home. When they don't have one, they turn into clutter, and clutter turns into anxiety. So choose one spot and decide, from today on, this is the place. Move 4, 15 seconds. Seal it with a short phrase. And here I want to give you something simple. It's not religious. It doesn't promise anything magical. It's just direction. Say this quietly and firmly. I make space for what's good. I close the door to what's heavy. That's it. You just did a 60-second reset. And maybe it feels small, but small, repeated, changes the atmosphere of a home. Now I want to give you what almost nobody gives. Continuity. Because what transforms your life isn't the inspiring moment. It's what you do tomorrow. So here's your 7-day reset rhythm. Short, realistic. Designed for a busy American woman with a full calendar and 0 extra energy. And let me say this, if you miss a day, don't spiral. Just pick it back up. The win here is consistency, not perfection. Day 1, entryway, 10 minutes. Do 3 things. Clear the walkway. Create the landing spot. Remove one item that's been sitting there temporarily for months. Just one. Close with the phrase, I enter light. Day 2, kitchen, 10 minutes. Throw out 2 expired or forgotten items. Get the sink to visual 0, even if everything isn't washed. Make it look decided. Clear a small section of counter space. Close with, I multiply what I have in peace. Day 3, bedroom, 10 minutes. Remove 1 item from under the bed. Reduce your nightstand to 3 items max. Move your phone out of arm's reach at night. Close with, I deserve to rest. Day 4, broken things, 10 minutes. Choose 1 broken item and decide, fix it or remove it. No middle ground. And if it's something expensive, at least take the first step. Separate it. Get a quote. Schedule it. Ask for help. Close with, I don't tolerate leaks. Day 5, light and air, 10 minutes. Replace a light bulb. open a window, brighten one dark corner. This isn't about aesthetics, it's about vitality. Close with, my home feels alive. Day 6, papers and loose ends, 10 minutes. Grab one stack of mail, school papers, receipts, whatever's piled up. Do just the basics. Toss the trash. Separate what matters. Choose one single place to store it. The goal is simple. Stop being ambushed by paper. Close with, I handle things without heaviness. Day 7, expectation, 10 minutes. Create one small signal of future in your home. A clean corner, a cleared table, an open chair, and leave water ready for yourself. A filled bottle in the fridge, a pitcher on the counter. Close with, I expect good with dignity. Now let me tell you why this works, in the most practical, grounded way possible. When you change your environment, you change how you treat yourself. When you treat yourself better, you make better decisions. When you make better decisions, you stop leaking energy. And energy is what allows money to stay. This isn't about the universe sending you something. It's about you stopping the daily message you send yourself that life is nothing but obstacles. Now, I want to anchor this with one small commitment, because saying it increases the chance you'll actually do it. If you're willing to do the 60-second reset today, comment, I did the reset. Even if you're planning to do it later, comment now to mark it. And if you're following this series, subscribe. I'm going to keep sharing practical, realistic content, the kind you can apply without guilt and without overwhelm. Now, let me close with one short story that ties all of this together, because I want you to see how this shift shows up in real life, in your mood, your clarity, your courage, and yes, in money finally stopping its silent escape. Let's go. I want to tell you a short story. Because sometimes when you hear list, signs, routine, it sounds like theory, but when it becomes a story, it becomes a mirror. Let's call her Helen. Helen was 56. She worked hard. She had always been the strong one in the family, the fixer, the dependable one, the one who holds it all together. On the outside, no one could tell, but on the inside she carried a constant weight, a tight chest when she thought about bills, irritation that came out of nowhere, and that sentence that kept looping in her mind, I feel like I'm stuck. She wasn't irresponsible, she wasn't lazy, she was tired, and she said something to me I've never forgotten. When I walk into my house, it feels like the house demands something from me. When I asked her to describe her entryway, she exhaled. Shoes in the walkway, reusable grocery bags piled up, an Amazon box leaning against the wall, temporarily, for months. And every time she walked in, she was already sidestepping. The kitchen was where she felt the most guilt. There was always something to handle. And the bedroom? She lay down, but she didn't rest. Her nightstand looked like an anxiety station. Helen decided to try what I shared with you. No extremes, no perfection. She started with the 60-second reset. Later she told me, it felt strange, like I was starting over. On day 1, she cleared a block from the entry and created a landing spot for her keys and purse. On day 2, she threw out what was expired in the fridge and cleared a section of counter. On day 3, she removed 2 boxes from under the bed and reduced her nightstand to 3 items. And here's the part I want you to understand. It wasn't that money fell from the sky. What happened was this. She started sleeping a little better. And when you sleep better, you're less reactive. When you're less reactive, you stop impulse buying just to soothe anxiety. You stop postponing simple decisions. You gain clarity. On day 4, she fixed something that had irritated her every single day, a door that wouldn't close properly. And she told me, I didn't even realize how much that was stressing me out. A week later, she did something she had been putting off for months. She sat down, made the call, renegotiated a bill. It wasn't easy, but she did it. because now her house wasn't training stuck. It was training leadership. And she said something I want you to remember. I didn't change the house. I changed how I treat myself inside the house. That's what this is about. Prosperity doesn't start at the bank. It starts in the way you walk through your front door, in the way you clear a corner, in the way you stop tolerating leaks. So let me ask you, honestly, what day do you start? Comment below. Day 1 today. Even if all you do is the 60-second reset, because when you declare it, you commit. Now let's close this the right way, with a clear recap and a clear next step. Before you leave, let me tie this together simply. Today you learned 5 signs that highly prosperous people notice quickly, not because of luxury, but because they read order and flow. Sign 1. Blocked entryway. When your body learns to sidestep, your life learns to stall. Sign 2. A kitchen that accuses you. When the engine turns into guilt, the flow weakens. Sign 3. A bedroom without rest. When you sleep on top of loose ends, you wake up without clarity. Sign 4. Broken things. What you tolerate leaking in your home, you tolerate leaking in your life. Sign 5. Expectation. When your home expects problems, you live in defense. When your home prepares for good, you finally exhale. And I gave you 2 practical tools, the 60-second reset at your entryway and the 7-day rhythm to rebuild order without overwhelm. Now I want one clear final step from you. Comment below. I unblock my entryway. And if you've already decided to start, add Day 1 today. Subscribe to the channel now. It's new and we're building something intentional here. Content that's respectful, educational, symbolic, no magic promises, no gimmicks, just real shifts you can apply in real life. And don't miss the next video, because next I'm going to show you the most common detail that quietly destroys the feeling of prosperity in a home, and how to fix it with one small adjustment. Stay with us. You didn't land here by accident.